3, 2, 1.
This is the Mac Media Show.
Welcome to the Mac Media Show, everyone. My name is Mac.
And I am Ree.
And this is the Me and Ree Review Show. We are the two that review for you.
We are. And we love it.
This is $1 Million Listing, Season 8, Episode 9. Sorry.
I thought so, yeah.
Episode 9 of Season 8 of $1 Million Listing, Los Angeles. I'm going to read a little excerpt here. James works with Madison Hildebrand in Malibu to find a home for a young British billionaire. Mm-hmm. Josh Flagg struggles to move on after losing Edith. His grandmother, Josh Altman, and the Brits engage in a negotiation that leaves actual money on the table. Mm-hmm. What did you think of this episode? Where are we with the brokers and the agents, rather? And what do you think? Who's winning? Who's not doing as well? Are they equals? Personalities, relationships? Who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite?
Well, I don't understand what the show itself is trying to do as far as Josh Altman. He's kind of confusing me.
That's interesting.
Because I did start off liking him. He looks like he's the antagonist in every situation. And he really looks like he doesn't like them. And I don't care for that. I mean, even if you don't, I think you should be adult about it. You know, he seems to get on that level of being like a child. But maybe that's because it's the show. I'm not sure. But it's making me not care for him as much. And Josh, I'm reading your book right now, and you know, it kind of makes me wonder if the money has changed you, or
does it? The
fame has changed you? Yeah, because the book is he came from a really normal, upbringing, all that kind of stuff. Has brought himself up into the ranks of the real estate. So to me, he should be more grateful. I mean, I wish they would show him being more grateful on the show than being hateful. More grateful, not hateful. And I'm sure they're doing that. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know if they're doing that to keep the show moving forward, but they could still be nice. Because James, when he deals with, just like they started off the show with James going to Malibu, and then there's Madison Hildebrand, and he said he has a great reputation and he's a pleasure to deal with, and I really respect him. I mean, they're competitors still in some way, but you can do that on a higher level.
How about this, though? In a story, in a reality series like this, you cannot have a show without tension.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's probably the show. He's not,
Or they found somebody that naturally was like Altman, so that there would be tension.
Could be.
Between the agents.
Good thought.
Yeah.
Could be.
So maybe
that
really
could be
is
his
that way.
natural. But I did notice on last night's show when they're doing the negotiations, James, David, and the Altman brothers, Matt stops them and says, "Look, I want to get on with my day. Let's quit the big, So I think that's why Matt really doesn't get involved in the show. I don't think he likes all that mess.
Maybe not.
Honestly. I was wondering why he was not more, in the show.
Let's talk about that negotiation first. Altman is listing a property valued at $8.6 million. Mm-hmm.
That's what the owner thinks.
That's right. He and the daughter.
Mm-hmm. Aaliyah with the big hair.
Yeah, that was funny. Mm-hmm. But so he has to lower the price after a week, which I think that's fine. I think a week, it's not been on the market for long.
I thought that was a good way to put it to the owner.
Throw out 8.6.
Right.
If it doesn't work, lower it, but don't let it go on.
Give it a
time.
Week. Yeah, not say 2 or 3 months and then try to do it. Yeah.
So at the end of a week, he drops it to 7.9. Mm-hmm. That's a signal to everyone in the area that they want to sell a house.
Right.
So James and David, it was actually James that had the
negotiation, the client.
That had the client, and David had the house. So he had seen the house first, David had. So he recommended the house to James, and James did a showing with Altman, which was funny. Mm-hmm.
James tried to keep it above board.
I think he did, I think that sometimes makes it... Do you just ignore it, or do you do what James did? Which is point out that there's tension.
I would... What, you mean in front of the client?
James pointed out, between he and Altman, when his client was outside, he and Altman are talking inside, James says... Let's put our problems behind us and, whatever. He points out that there are problems rather than just ignore it and act like there's no problems.
No, I think he's being the bigger man because it's like he's saying, I realize this, I want to move on. We both want to sell. Let's get on with it. Because
Every
I've dealt
time
with people
he
like
says
that.
though, it gives Altman the opportunity.
He's going to do it anyway.
Jab.
He's going to do it anyway. But if you don't, think about it this way.
If you don't address it.
If James doesn't address it, then it's like James is a wimp. I'm going to keep picking at him. Because he's nice and he won't say anything.
Right.
I would rather go up front like James did in a nice way.
I agree.
Because I've dealt with people like that. And sometimes you can't ever even break through to deal with them. I mean, I don't know that they will ever have a friendship. I think some people are just that way. And sometimes you have to just move on,
So James makes the verbal offer.
Uh-huh.
$7 million he comes in at. Mm-hmm. I thought that was smart.
Did too.
Leaves room to meet in the middle.
Exactly.
And Altman has to present the offer. So
Right.
Altman calls, and I think at that point they leave and go their separate ways before he calls his client. So there's no negotiation at that point. So they reconvene at a later date, and the Altman brothers come in with James and David, and they start negotiating. What did you think about Altman's strategy to keep the price high, regardless of whether, he was given the okay for anything with a 7 in front of it. Mm-hmm. What do you think his strategy was when he countered at full price? Or 7.9?
Because you're wondering at the beginning if these people can really come up. Like, at first he's thinking,
what do you think
would
of
be
his
my
strategy?
strategy.
You think is a good strategy?
Trying to get the most money he can get for his client. Yeah, because you think about if James and David didn't really know him, they're testing the waters. They could have come back at 7.5
Okay,
and then he's higher than what he ended up.
Sure,
You see what I'm saying?
But let me ask you this. So if it was not James and David, would he have given a more reasonable counter? Or would he have countered full price?
Probably full price.
You
I
do
would
think
have.
so?
Yeah, I would have at the beginning. Okay. Yeah. Because they just dropped the price.
So you don't think it was just because it was James and David?
No, there's not another
property.
property like that one. And when you have that, you can try to keep the price up. James and David played it well. And I think everybody won in that situation. Josh Altman got his client more than 7, and they got less than 7.9. So I think everybody won in that situation.
Yeah, it actually came out lower than half. It was 7.4 they agreed on.
Was it 7.4?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking 7.2, but it's 7. Yeah, that's right.
7.4.
That's right. And I thought that was good for everybody.
Yeah, and I think so. And the issue was that Altman believed that the kid really wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was what James didn't want the kid to show.
Yeah, wasn't that an interesting client?
Yeah, I wonder.
His name was Tim, 22 years old,
Right.
from England, London, England.
Yeah.
And he had made his money in the stock market at 22
right?
years old. That's what they said. I mean, who makes that kind of money at 22? His dad must have been in it. His family must have been in it. There's something odd there.
Yeah.
Nobody makes that kind of money at 22. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about his budget was like between 9 and 13 million. He's 22. Mm-hmm. That's a little unrealistic, but anyway, he didn't like the height. You remember when they took him to Malibu? He said he wanted to be on the beach, view, all that stuff. And
Yes, we saw Madison again this week.
we did, and he was awesome.
And I thought so. Mm-hmm. And James is showing properties with Madison to his client, Tim, the 22-year-old multimillionaire. And I didn't know that he was in the stock market. So
That's what he said. He made his money in the stock market.
And they go to a property, and he says he wants to be by the water, California living, and he looks off the porch, and he gets like vertigo.
Yeah, it's just too high. Woo.
Oh my gosh!
Well, maybe he didn't even realize he was like that. Maybe he's never been that high up, or I don't know. But,
I thought that was ridiculous, but
well,
hey,
he was a nice guy, though. I mean, he respected him. He was very nice.
the first few properties, he was really picky about the height of the property, and I thought I've never heard that or seen that before.
Yeah, that was different. You're right.
So maybe I should be more willing to accept his ways, just
Well,
because
yeah,
it's
everybody-
something I haven't seen. Maybe I should be more open to that. But
Well, I think
thought that was funny.
James put it right when he said he's 22 years old. He has all that money. At 22, you don't really know what you want. Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. At 22, a guy's brain's not even developed. I mean, males' brains don't develop till you're 25. I mean, fully. Honestly, that's just biology. I'm sorry, but it is.
Whatever.
It is.
Disagree with
so
that.
anyway, when you look at it that way, you know, if you had an open book like that, it's kind of hard to pinpoint what you really want to do until you see it. He's from London, probably hadn't been over here much, brings a wad of cash, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, it was interesting. I was glad to see him pin down a property. I liked the way they negotiated on it. I liked
That was
it.
so funny.
I liked it. It was really good
Guy
for both
looks
of them.
over the edge and says, "Oh my gosh, I can't do this."
Yeah, he was scared. He was
Goodness.
scared to look over the side.
I didn't even think the property that he chose was as great as the other ones. You know,
Oh, I thought it was nice.
I did.
I liked it. You had a view. You had
It was nice, but you really didn't have a view. I mean, it was a free.
well, somewhat. What was it on upper level?
Yeah, it was on an upper level. I don't know if it was just the greatest view, though. It was kind of just far off in the distance.
Yeah, but he still got a little view. He still got the house he wanted, obviously. And, you know, it was a nice house that Josh had listed.
I don't know, I
It
just
was
thought
nice.
that kid was funny.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very updated. That was the one that was the Spanish
Yeah.
1920-something that he tried to keep some of the flavor of that in it. Good house. Good house.
What did Flagg do this week? Was he working with the, he found the
I
house
loved
for the...
him. Yes. I loved what he did this week. It was awesome.
Tell me why you
Loved it. Oh, I just thought it was neat because he's still working with the people that the lady had the art that she was taking around to see what kind of house, you know, they wanted to get. They were coming down to the wire of having to go back to, is it Iowa? I forgot where they're from, somewhere in the
Ohio.
Midwest, Ohio. And they had upped their budget, and he had this one pocket listing left that they were going to put it on the market. And when he drove up to it, I said, that's it. It was so cute.
You like
it was
that?
like a little bungalow. Yeah, but it was like something that they could relate to in California. The other things they'd seen were very sterile, very contemporary, like some people do like in California, but this one was just precious. I loved it. I would have moved in it too, because when you went in it, that was it. When I heard her say, that's it, and I felt that way about houses that I've walked in. I've said, that's it, you know. And she put the art up and said she loves it here. So Flagg was very excited that the artwork was enjoying where it
Yeah,
was.
he looked at her and said, is it speaking to you?
But it did.
She speaks.
It did, though. It fit there. And then when she opened the back doors, the French doors, you know, the backyard was nice. It looked more like a home place for them. And I was so happy for them. And he was cool because, you know, Flagg went over there later and said, I like to see how they fix them up, you know, if they have good taste or bad taste after I sell it to them and see what it looks like. And he said it was beautiful. And it was. They had it decorated really nice. And
Well, you know, it was funny. If I'm the husband, didn't want to pay full price, and Josh said go in at full price.
I know.
And if I was I would. If I'm the guy, good Lord, I would have been in my situation. I was agreeing with the husband. I thought the husband was saying the right things about putting in a 1.7 offer instead of full price.
No, not at that point.
Boy, I thought
he was
so.
right. No, because I mean, it's not like
I was totally
a home
wrong.
it wasn't even on the market yet. That was a very popular house, and when you see that and it's fixing to come on the market to begin with, you've got to offer full price. You don't have any choice. They're not going to come down when they hadn't even put it on the market yet. And it's not like a piece of property that needed a lot of work or anything else. It was move-in ready. It was a certain style. It was perfect. And I know what Josh was saying. I guess if you've been in the business, you understand that. It just depends on the situation of the house. But they could have sold that house easy. So nobody's coming off the price. And he was wasting time because he knew they had to get to the airport. But he had to let the client do what he wanted to do. You know, I'll offer it, but I'm telling you it's not going to work. And he's right.
What do you think about his delivery to the clients when he says things like that?
Flagg?
Yeah.
I think it gives him a little credibility.
Well, no, I mean his delivery, his tone, he was kind of.
Well, he's very, I'm telling you what you need to do.
Yeah, I don't know if I like
But-
that.
No, that's what you've hired him for. You've
Well,
hired him to give you the inside.
I really related to the guy in that situation, the husband, and they're the type of people that think
Well, in
of-
the Midwest, you could dicker on a house.
they're more
It's different.
patient. I think they want to think about it more. Flagg just jumped all over the guy for not making a split decision to do full price right then. You know,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you
that's a
gotta-
big commitment. You know, Flagg needs to be a little bit more understanding, more patient of those
But
feelings.
they had already seen a bunch of houses. He had already seen there's nothing there. Here's the thing that you want. Here, there's not that many of this style
Well, I
ever
know,
come up in
but-
California.
But I related to this, you know, you had an interior designer come into your house, and cause you told me the story, and came in and and you wanted to discuss it or whatever, and he came in real aggressive and said, "Well, this is what you need.
Yeah.
That's it."
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel about that? You know, it was a little too aggressive, don't you think?
Well, and he was kind of ugly to me.
That's what I mean. It
When I
borders.
said,
It
"Wait a
borders
minute."
on like ugly because you're
Yeah,
not.
but then he said, "You hired me. Okay, if you want to make your own decision, but you hired me to help you, and I know what I'm doing. I've done this."
Yeah, but I know. But you put yourself in the husband's shoes. You're gonna have some hesitation, and I just would like to see Flagg understand those feelings. Although Flagg is absolutely 100% correct, I would like to at least see him act a little bit and
Yeah, maybe so.
just
Maybe so.
for
I'll see.
just a few minutes. Say, I understand how you're feeling. You might be a little hesitant, you know, but we need to do this. Not just well, you got to, you know. It's kind of
Well, he doesn't say it like that. He says,
Man, I thought
I
so.
suggest that you give them full price. It's not going to do any good to give them any less." I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
pretty honest.
He's pretty aggressive. He's honest, and I think it's fine. But he maybe could have been a little bit more.
But you've got to realize time was of the essence with these people. He didn't want them leaving without buying a house.
Okay.
And if they kept dickering on it, they were going to have to leave. You saw they got it finalized as he drove them to the airport.
I just think he could have been a little bit
Okay.
more
well,
understanding. Not that it would have changed anything. Not that I just wish he would have thrown in a sentence there that says, "I understand how you're feeling. I understand."
I think
how
it's
you're
kind of
feeling."
his style. I think
Oh,
it's his
it's-
style to say, "I've lived here my whole life.
totally
I am
is.
a multi-million-dollar seller. You know, I'm not telling you things to waste your time."
That's right.
I think that's kind of what he's trying to come across like.
Absolutely.
And, you know, what was it on Andy Cohen's show that time? They asked which one would you trust to sell your real estate between them, the Brits, and Altman, and they picked Josh Flagg, which it surprised me at the time. But I kind of see it now. I kind of see the trust factor there. He's very confident about, he's lived there, he's gone through all the training with his grandmother, you know, all that stuff. So, yeah, it was
I
interesting.
thought the homes this week were really incredible.
I did too. They were all nice.
I
Yeah.
thought they were some of the best homes that we've
Me
seen.
too. Me too.
Next week, I think it looks like we go back to Truesdale.
Oh. Well, that would be Josh Flagg's territory.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but
Yep, I did.
boy,
I
there
saw
was
the
an
previews.
unbelievable view on one of the properties next to it.
Yes.
Had to be a $20 million property. Chad Rogers sells properties in Truesdale.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he and Flagg are kind
They
of
must be dealing on some stuff.
yeah, they're kind of competition.
Oh.
Doesn't seem like James and David and Altman can get into that area.
Oh, I'm sure Josh Flagg's got it pretty.
I'm sure they've sold a few properties there, but we don't see Altman selling properties in Truesdale much.
You know, that was interesting. Last week's episode when Altman, you know, got with that odd guy from the MLB, baseball kind of odd guy.
Brian
That was
Wilson.
buying property, and he sold him that piece of property from that developer that he works with. Altman works with Yvonne, I think. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he had been in previous episodes with us, and he lets Altman sell all his property now. And you remember one time Josh Flagg came to an open house, and the guy said, "I tried to call you twice," to Flagg.
Yeah, I remember
that. And so anyway, he ended up. I thought that was interesting that Altman has ended up, you know, selling all this developer stuff. They made a relationship because Flagg didn't answer the phone. That's interesting. You know, that's why you never pass up an opportunity. You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting. But I just really, my heart just went out to Flagg this week with going back to Edith's house, and we saw his parents. We got to see his mom. Mm-hmm. They had redone their house, and Colton had done it, and yeah, he was trying to figure out if he needs to move out of the.
They're just going to leave Edith's penthouse on the market for, just stale for a year. Just not doing anything.
Well, I
with
don't
it.
think he's ready yet. I think Colton was right. when
That'll
he
be
walked
almost
in
2
there.
years that the penthouse has just been there.
I just thought it was so sweet when he
strange.
went back in there. I remember when they would sit and talk, and he would go up there in his pajamas.
Did you see the little vignette of them dancing?
Yes.
wasn't that
They
sad?
just really had a great relationship, and
Yeah.
it was really neat. But he, he sat there and cried and said, "I haven't heard from you." And I was just thinking, it is sad when you lose someone that you love that much. And I can relate because I lost my mom a couple of years ago, and we talked every day, and we were very close, and it's coming up on the second anniversary of her death in November, and fall has always been my most absolute favorite time of the year. I love the colors, I love the weather, I love it all, and I think it's just nature's so wonderful the way it's all green and everything, and then it's like it settles down and it gives you those wonderful colors, and you don't have to water anything. It's like it's like a treat that God gave the earth, that at this point, in the spring you have to plant everything, you have to keep the bugs off it, you have to keep the deer from eating it, you have to water it. In the fall you get this beautiful show, and you don't really do anything for it. You can sit in the woods and watch the leaves turn and fly by you, and it's just the most awesome time of the year for me. But it's got a tinge of sadness now because tomorrow would have been her 91st birthday, and it's just got a tinge of sadness when I see the leaves change now. But I'm trying to look at that where I see her spirit in those beautiful colors, which gives me hope and makes me feel a little better about where she is. But I felt like him when he said, "I haven't heard from you," because, and of course we all know legitimately you don't hear from them, but I felt the same way. I haven't heard from you, but anyway, I understood what he felt, and Colton's really sweet to him, when he came in and said, "Let's just wait." And I think anybody that's lost anybody in life that meant anything to them can relate to that.
So you related?
I did. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's tough, but it's hard when somebody plays that big a part in your life on a daily basis. When they're gone, there's a big hole there for a while. It's a big hole. If you didn't see them all the time or talk to them every day or, whatever. And it's funny because some of my answer machine, she called every day, and for some reason it got taped and on one of them, and it's funny because it's on my iPod, and when I listen to it, sometimes her voice comes up and she says, "Hey," and I was just calling to see how you're doing, and it just, in a way it's comforting, in a way it's, a little sad, but I'm glad I've got her voice, because sometimes I feel like I forget what she sounded like. And I don't want to ever forget that. So, yeah, but you have to look at it in a positive way, and she was sick, and so was Edith, and they didn't need to continue, being that way. So, anyway, didn't mean to bring it down, but I understand how he feels. And I thought it was a sweet segment that they included in there. I'm glad they did.
Well, that was sweet. I thought it was a good part of the episode.
I did too. I really enjoyed this show. I thought it was really good.
Was there anything else you...
No, it was fun to see Madison, though. It was fun to see him. That was really interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
He didn't talk too much about what he's doing
didn't.
or anything.
I was really surprised.
Which maybe they're not supposed to let him because he's really not on the show. I don't know. But anyway, it was really...
I was surprised he didn't make more of a show.
Yeah, I guess it was just because the guy was looking at, going to Malibu, and maybe James said, can we use Madison? Because he is Malibu. Something else I noticed that I'm confused about?
What's that?
Okay, on some of they were fixing to have the brokers open on Altman's house that Tim eventually bought. And he had his team there. And it said Altman Brothers. It said agent with Altman Brothers. He was talking to 2 or 3 of them at the table, and underneath it said agent with Altman Brothers. Well, my understanding at the beginning of the season was that they went with Douglas Elliman.
It's probably out of order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's kind of odd.
I mean...
Oh, you mean
the
maybe
first part of the season was probably...
Yeah, you're right. I forget it gets taped like that.
They just reordered it,
Yeah, that's true. I forgot
probably,
about
at that time, they probably were.
Yeah.
But they filmed something more recently and put it towards the beginning of the season.
I wondered if they had a separate Altman brothers
No.
and had agents working for them, and then they were working for Douglas Elliman.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. That just crossed my mind when I saw that.
I think Madison's done a nice job. You mentioned that he was the guy from Malibu. You know, he's carved out a niche market
He
there.
found his niche. That's right. Remember when Heather worked for him? They were out there,
Yeah.
and he really saw an opportunity to become the Malibu, sales. I think he's got a company now called that, something like the Malibu Experts or something. I can't remember. He did that after he left the show, and
I think it's called the Malibu Life.
I thought it was kind of nice seeing no girls involved. I thought it was kind of fun this time, not having that drama.
Yeah.
I liked just the housing stuff, and I did like the feature of Josh Flagg, because that's just human nature. That's not,
Oh, how about this? James Harris made an appearance on James Corden late night show.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I missed it.
The
What?
episode with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, yeah.
He had a segment in his monologue. The guy that plays his keyboard and is the director of the band over there. He had an Instagram picture with James Harris.
Oh, wow.
And James Corden asked him, who are you standing in this who's with you in this picture? And he didn't know. He couldn't remember his name, but James.
he
It was
was on
James
there?
Harris with the director of his band of the Late Late Show. And,
wow.
that was funny.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He gave a little talk. He said, "This guy's from the $1 Million Listing Los Angeles show on Bravo," and thought that was cool.
I do too. That's neat. I'd like to go back and see it.
James Harris getting a little national coverage
I
here.
know it.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was good. That's cool. Yeah,
Well,
they're nice
I
people.
think everybody's doing a great job.
I do too.
This is interesting. Next week on episode 10, I believe is going to be Josh Flagg goes to the Pacific Palisades. It's an area in California, and he sells a house there. Altman is working on a Hollywood Hills party pad, and he's got a Russian client.
Oh.
But Zach Vela
No.
enlists James Harris
No way.
to take him property shopping for new hotel space.
Oh, I love him.
On the Sunset Strip.
I love him, and now he's married.
Yeah.
Zach, that's cool. I think he and James will hit it off. That'll be great. Now, I wonder why he picked James.
Well,
Isn't that
I think he
interesting?
worked with James on his last property.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Out in L.A.?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
didn't know that. Was James getting more than David? Or is he just...
I don't know.
It's kind of odd they're featuring James a lot more than they are
James
David.
Harris gets David Barnes in the hot water when he tries to convince Adrian to put their nearly complete dream home on the market.
Oh, that's their home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're building it. Remember,
Right.
they showed us they're building
And
it.
James tries to get David to sell it.
Oh, why would he do that? They
They
need
make
to
$1
move in
million.
it. Oh,
Isn't
They
that
need to move
amazing?
in
In 2 years, or in a year, really, a building, they could flip the development for $1 million. Place isn't even finished.
I don't know. Sometimes money's not all that needs to be involved in
But
it.
is that not amazing how fast the market
Yeah.
increases out there?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it really
anyways.
does.
So
Really
next week will be a good episode.
It will.
And I'm
It will.
excited to see Zach Bella.
Me too. Are there 12 episodes?
There's 12 episodes.
Okay,
that's
so
right.
we're winding down.
We've got 3 more episodes.
Ooh, we're gonna have to see how they end the season this year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
And there is a surprise that I will not reveal in next week's episode.
No. So they gave
So you
you
have to wait.
a peek and didn't give the rest of us one, huh?
Yep. Special
Well, that's what you
appearance
get for having your own show.
by one of our favorite stars will be
Oh,
on there.
cool.
That'll be pretty cool.
Oh, I can't wait. And to see Zach. I love Zach.
Yeah,
I
Zach
think
will be
he's
back.
the coolest.
Zach will be cool.
I saw his pictures when he got married, and I just love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yep.
And he's a great guy. Boy, he must be really a good developer.
Yeah.
Doing all that in New York, coming to L.A. Golly, I wonder if he does stuff internationally. You know, just in the States or... Anyway,
Yep.
yeah, it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. All the guys are awesome, fun to watch. The only thing I wish is we would just have a little more gratitude without attitude
Oh, you're just so funny.
with Altman.
That's
well,
good.
I would. I'd like to see him be a little nicer, just a little, step it down just a little, and he'd still be aggressive, still be in his own corner. I understand all that. But I still love watching you, Josh. It's fun. It's a good show.
Well, I enjoyed talking with you about it this week.
It was good. Yeah.
And you can catch us on the MacMediaShow.com, on Twitter at the Mac Media Show. Almost 40,000 of you are there. And we had a good conversation last week on Twitter with some people. So go and join us there. And until next week, I guess that's it.
We will see you on the podcast.
Have a great week.